Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittney, this is the Brittney Reacts Show, and on this show we talk all things entertainment news, movie news, a little bit of strike talk today, but mostly entertainment news. I'm sorry, no WTF news today. I was actually looking for some, but I guess nothing super crazy happened recently. But how are you guys doing? Hi Fod Fareed, hi Edgeman, hi Xavier, hi Natanya, hi Misbehave, hi Rachel, hi Laura B, hi Jojo Rod, hi Shelly Lee. Hi, did I get everyone? Hi Glitching, hi Ethereal Dragon, hi Minecraft Builds, hi everyone who's here. Alright, hi the cover girl, hi Dee Dee. Alright, anyway, let's just get straight into the news. So, I thought, because you know, I couldn't resist an opportunity to talk about my man, but Harry Styles is apparently rumored to be writing and singing the main Bond theme song for the next new Bond movie. Would you guys want this? I mean, I think the last couple people who have been chosen to do the Bond theme song have been Billie Eilish, Adele, I'm not sure, who was before Adele? I remember the Adele one was really, really huge. And I think Billie's got her an Oscar. So maybe this will get Harry an Oscar? I don't know. Anyone else excited for Harry Styles doing the next Bond theme like I am? Okay, Evil Connor says should be Lana Del Rey. Interesting. Michael says, I got a job at AMC, so I've missed a few live streams. Oh, that's alright, Michael. I think it'll be awesome. Oh yeah, Sam Smith. That was another one. Sam Smith also did a theme. So I feel like if Sam Smith can do it, Harry definitely can. Fod Fareed says, honestly not the vibes. Don't mix. Why? Angel Barrera says, who's the next Bond? Didn't Daniel Craig die in the last one? Yeah, so the new Bond movie will actually star a different Bond, not James Craig. They're rebooting with the new Bond with this one, so that's why I think this is actually pretty interesting. This will be the first Bond song back with the new Bond, so this is a pretty big deal. Oh, hi, Brian. Tegan and Halperoni says, another terrible Bond theme. Probably I dislike most of them. Honestly, the only recent Bond theme I can think of that was actually good was the Adele one. Even the Billie one I thought was just okay. Who would you guys want to see actually play Bond? I mean, Harry is British. Could he play Bond? I know you guys are going to immediately say no, but apparently there are rumors they want Aaron Taylor Johnson to be Bond. I don't know if I'm really into him. Honestly, I can see, Henry Cavill doing it, although I think he's a little too old now. I don't know, who else? Is Austin Butler's not British? No. Who do you guys want to be the next Bond? Harry's not a professional screenwriter, but he does write his songs. Okay, Shelly Lee says a poll. I feel like I'm not going to do a poll, because you guys definitely, I feel like most of you guys are not on board with this. Prince Harry. You guys want Prince Harry to be the next Bond? Oh, Josh loves movies. Taron Egerton. That's a good choice. I like him. Although, maybe it'll be a little on the nose, since he already played Eggsy in the Kingsman movies. Wasn't the Kingsman movies basically riffing on the Bond films? So he plays the parody of Bond, and then he goes on to play Bond. I mean, good for him, but I don't know if they would cast him for that reason, even though he would be such a good Bond. And I really like Taron Egerton. Idris Elba would also be great, but I think he's too old for the role now. Ooh, Matt Smith, says Brian Lowe. Okay. Matt Smith. I like him. He's probably also too old. One of the rumors that's been going around about the Bond film is that they want someone younger, like maybe even late 20s, early 30s kind of younger. So that's kind of where I'm thinking as far as like actors right now. Dev Patel. Oh, I would love Dev Patel, genuinely. I don't know if they're gonna go with him though. Okay, you think his voice doesn't fit it? Interesting. Okay. So we'll see what happens. Tom Felton. Tom Felton wants to play Bond. I'm so sure that Tom Felton wants to play Bond. He's like ultimately extremely unemployed right now. I used to really like Tom Felton, and I still do, but I don't know. he does so many cringy things online where it's like, you can tell he hasn't had a big role since Harry Potter, and he's just like, oh man, you are chronically unemployed. I'm sure those royalty checks are keeping you afloat right now. Timothy Chalamet is not British, and I definitely don't think that he can be Bond. He's way too scrawny for that. Tom Holland, funnily enough, wanted to be Bond, and he even went as far as to talk with the creators and owners of Bond to try to convince them to make him the character, but I don't think anyone can really see Tom Holland as Bond. I don't think they're going that young. Or at least, because Tom Holland, even though Tom and I are, like, the same age, Tom still has such a, like, youthful kid face. He's still, I mean, it works for him for Peter Parker. Like, he looks like he could still be in high school. So I just don't think Tom Holland was ever the right choice for Bond. Tom Felton has a new Uber Eats ad. Well, good for him. Good for him. Pedro Pascal. I like Pedro Pascal, but he's not British. I'm pretty sure Bond has to be either British or Scottish. I think that's like a requirement. Melissa McCarthy as Bond. Now y'all are just pulling my leg. No. Alright. Anyway, moving on to the next topic. So, Aquaman 2. Apparently there are rumors that the screening, like the free screening that they only show to like people who are close to the movie, people who work at the company, like just to like test out the film. So this was a test screening, by the way. A free test screening. So none of the people who watched the movie had to like actually pay for it. But apparently the film was so bad, it caused people to walk out of the free test screening. Do you know how bad your movie has to be to walk out of the film mid-movie and you didn't even pay for it? Do you know how bad this must be? And this was a test screening audience. They know the movie's not even done yet, and they could change things. And they still walked out. And it was free! So this does not bode well for Aquaman 2. Not even a little bit. Yeah, Tegan and Hoperoni, the sinking ship. DC just can't catch a break, man. DC cannot catch a break. Kit Harington. Oh, I like Kit Harington. I still don't know if I see him as Bond, though. I know. Is anyone even surprised by this news? To be honest with you, a lot of people really like the first Aquaman, but I thought the first Aquaman was pretty bad, so I'm not even that surprised by this. I mean, how bad is this movie for you to walk out of a movie you didn't even pay for? And that you're there to judge. Like, they couldn't even make it to the end. This is awful. This is really bad. Oh yeah, Mikey, my expectations went even more downhill. Josh Loves Movie says, hopefully the mini reshoots will help. Very true. Maybe they did some magic in the reshooting process, but I feel like I could only name one movie off the top of my head where reshoots really did significantly change things around, and that's Rogue One. Because, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Star Wars Rogue One, they had to reshoot that movie significantly with new director, new everything, and that ended up working out for that film. But I feel like more often than not, if you keep having to do reshoots because the movie's not working, that's because you had a problem from the beginning, and more reshoots is not going to fix it. But we'll see. Maybe they work some magic. I don't know. Okay, the modern designer is not surprised one bit. Okay. Rachel says, even expecting it to be bad, the fact people walked out of a test screening is pretty surprising. Exactly. You don't hear about this often. Like, how often do you hear that people walked out of a test screening? You have to be a troll to walk out of a free movie. That's the thing that is, like, the most funny to me. Like, they didn't even pay for the movie, and they still felt like it wasn't worth their time. Okay, a lot of people really like Rogue One. John Doe Jane Doe says, it was not because of the movie, but from a disturbing scene, but I don't want to spoil the film. There's a scene so disturbing people are willing to walk out? From Aquaman? I mean, it's a PG-13 film, right? How disturbing can it be to have people walk out? And still, though, the fact that they still walked out, like it was that upsetting that they had to walk out, is not a good sign, no matter what it was. I don't know. I don't know how disturbing you can be for PG-13. Mikey says, I feel like it will only make $200 to $400 million. I don't know. There's actually not a lot of big movies coming out later in the year, like in December, which is when this movie comes out. I feel like maybe people will just be looking for something to watch because Dune moved. There's no other big film at the end of the year. So this is kind of just it. So if people are looking for something to see in theaters, I can see people just going to see Aquaman just because there's nothing else. So I feel like if Aquaman does surprisingly well, it'll be mainly because there's not a lot of competition. That's my guess anyway. It involves a baby. Oh no. They killed a... Oh no. Okay. Looking at the chat. Not trying to get into spoilers. If you don't want spoilers, don't read the chat right now because it sounds like people are spoiling something. Is this... I don't know. That sounds very disturbing. Oh. I don't know, man. I don't even know what to say to that. Like, how graphic is it? I don't know. Now that makes me want to see the movie even less, not gonna lie, now knowing what it is. Very interesting. But anyway, we'll see what this does. We'll see how it, actually impacts the box office. I'm so curious to see how this movie does. I think it either could be, like, a surprising, modest hit, or it'll flop like everyone expects, so we'll see. Moving on. So, Disney Parks Chairman Josh D'Amaro just teased a potential Wakanda coming to the parks. Now, take this with a heavy grain of salt, even though Josh D'Amaro himself did announce this. He's just kind of giving, like, blue sky ideas. Like, wouldn't it be great if we had a Wakanda here? He's been promising a lot of stuff over the past few years, really, since he took the job. And I don't think he's really actually made any of the things that he said he was thinking about. So take this with some caution. But I actually think a Wakanda land, like how you have a Pandora land in Animal Kingdom, I think that would be really, really nice. Could you guys see this? Would you guys want to go to the parks if they made a Wakanda land and even had a ride? I think this could be really interesting. Okay, Jordan Davis is still interested. I know, Rachel, they're gonna have another disturbing scene. I don't know. What are the executives at DC even thinking right now? It's very weird. Aaron would love to see a Wakanda land. I know, I don't know if we're actually gonna get this anytime soon, but I'm hoping for it. Oh, some of you are saying no. Interesting. We'll see. Again, I think that it's actually a long shot for this actually to happen, but I hope it does. Moving on. So, episode 6 of Ahsoka just aired last night, and I did watch it, and I have to say, I thought it was the best episode out of all of the Ahsoka episodes last night. Again, as someone who has not watched Rebels or Clone Wars or anything like that, this is me just coming into this world with these characters with fresh eyes. And so I've been kind of struggling to connect with any of these characters the whole season just because it feels like there's a lot of backstory I'm missing. But this was the first episode where I was like, oh, I can kind of get, like, what the character dynamics are now. I kind of get it. I'm kind of understanding the appeal now. And I like some of the really weird, far out there sci-fi stuff. That was cool. Overall, I'd say this was a good episode. I hate that it's number 6. And I had to go through like 5 okay episodes before I got to one I actually liked, but hey, it's something. Yeah, the visuals are actually top notch. Like, some of the shots in this were actually really, really good. I would even say almost Game of Thrones-esque. And you know, I love Game of Thrones, so that is a major compliment. I'm not saying the writing is anywhere near that level, it's not. But the visuals, some of it reminded me of like a space version of Game of Thrones. Anyone watch this? Anyone care about this episode? Who's actually watching this show? Honestly, if you haven't watched the show, if you were on the fence on whether or not to watch Ahsoka, I would say if you're a Star Wars fan, wait to binge it. I actually think it's worth a binge if you're a Star Wars fan. If you're not a Star Wars fan, it's still not for you. But if you actually care about Star Wars and you were just hesitant to watch it because you know that a lot of this stuff hasn't been good, I would say actually give this one a shot. Just binge it. I think it's much better as a binge than a weekly release. Oh, you cried after watching this episode. Okay. Quack says, I've waited 4 hours for a short Pandora ride. Don't know what they could do for Wakanda. All these rides, I'd rather just be walked through, then the lines could be a little shorter. You know what? That's interesting. Oh, hi, Dee Dee. Thank you so much for being a member. I think that means you're what? On month 3 of being a member? Thank you so much, Dee Dee. Thank you for being a member. We are going to get to the member question later. It is about one of the main topics, so look forward to that. Josh loves movies. Ahsoka is really good. I'm glad that you're liking it. Okay, Star Film Studio, you don't care either way. That's fine. Oh, I was going to say about the ride thing that Quack brought up. There is a Studio Ghibli park in Japan that's all based off of Studio Ghibli movies, and they don't have any rides in the entire park. It's all walk-through attractions. They rebuilt several of the environments and cities and scenes from the movies, and the whole park is just you get to walk through those environments and take pictures and feel like you're inside the movies. I feel like Disney could definitely do that with some areas. I wouldn't say the entire parks, they definitely need rides, but I would love it if they did more of stuff like that. Alright, moving on. So, Barbie is actually coming back to theaters, well, a wider release again, after it's going to be in IMAX. Remember, it wasn't able to go to IMAX when it was first released because Oppenheimer got those seats, but now that both movies have been out for a while, Barbie is able to get IMAX screens again, which is really nice. But it's actually 8 minutes longer than the original theatrical cut, which means there's going to be some new scenes, new material, new something. Is anyone going to go back to theaters to see Barbie again in IMAX for new material? 8 minutes is pretty significant. Anyone interested in this? I have no idea what's in the 8 minutes. I'm guessing it's some new material. Maybe they'll have some, like, deleted scenes or something. Kitty Cat says, I could spend all day explaining the animated Star Wars shows, who the characters are, why I love them. I can go on. Oh, well, I'm glad you're loving Ahsoka then, Kitty Cat. Anyone gonna go? Okay. Hidden Name says yes. Interesting. Ruru, yeah, they're definitely milking this for sure. But can you blame them? This movie made look like almost $1.5 billion. Okay, some people are saying maybe. Honestly, I don't think this is going to have like a big, huge impact. I don't see people running back to theaters to see this again just for the 8 minutes. But it's at least something. I thought I'd bring it to your attention. Okay, some of you are saying yes, though. More yeses than I expected. That's interesting. Okay, Jordan Davis hopes people go. Okay. Alright. Moving on to the... Oh, I missed something? Gifted memberships. How did I miss something? Oh, Dee Dee gifted 5 memberships. How did I miss this? Dee Dee, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. That's very kind of you. Alright, so, who's a member? The Cover Girl is now a member. LP Harris is now a member. Simbi Charmed is now a member. Quack is a member. Jao Pedro is a member. Now we have 5 new members. Thank you so much, Dee Dee. This is really kind of you, and I'm glad I have some more new members now. So now you guys can look forward to participating in the community page where I post members-only posts where I talk about what we talk about in our live shows. So you guys have that to look forward to now. That's great. Oh no, what if they do add that fart joke? That's true. Because there was Greta Gerwig admitted for some reason that she wanted to put this really long, gross fart joke in the movie, but they told her to cut it. What if this 8 minutes is just that really long, gross fart joke that she wanted to add, but they cut? I highly doubt it, but that would be hilarious if this was Barbie, the fart cut edition. The Modern Designer says, I hope the new scenes show more of Barbie's routine in the start of the movie. Me too. I was hoping they would expand more of, like, her day-to-day life in Barbie Land. I would have liked to see, like, other than living at home and going to the beach, like, where else do the Barbies go? Like, if we do get a Barbie sequel, I hope they explore that. Alright, moving on to the next thing. Oh, Michael still hasn't seen Barbie. Oh no. Anyway, let's go. So there is a new trailer for the Hunger Games, Songbirds and or Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I know a number of you are very excited for it. I think this could do well. I think the Lionsgate franchise used to be extremely popular like 10 years ago. I don't know if it still has the same relevancy now, but I think it could, I think it could do well. Maybe. Possibly. I'm just scrubbing through the trailer real quick so you guys can kind of see it. I think it looks like the movies, at least the old ones. They still have the same sort of look and style. This is about President Snow and his backstory, so if you know that character from the original, so that's what the movie is about. In fact, this is supposed to be President Snow right here. They made him into a twink. And then we get some more, district stuff. We get Viola Davis. There's some stuff in here. I mean, this is a clearer picture of Rachel Zegler here. I really love her dress, by the way. She doesn't look like she really fits in with everyone else around her, but maybe that was intentional. Her dress is very gorgeous. And then we got some more pictures here. We got Peter Dinklage is in this movie. Hunter Schafer from Euphoria is in this movie. So, I mean, this kind of looks good. Is anyone excited? Who's really pumped for this film? I'm definitely going to say it just because I do like Hunger Games, so I'll tell you guys what I think and I'll review it here on the channel. So, what do you guys think about the film? Interested? Excited? Eva Connor says she looks like she's in Encanto with that dress. Yeah, I don't really understand this dress. Again, this is supposed to be a prequel, so obviously fashion must have changed since, by the time that Katniss comes on board, but this definitely looks like different fashion than I'm used to for Hunger Games. This dress was not anything similar to anything anyone wore in the original trilogy. But I like the dress nevertheless. It just looks cute. Ellie, for some reason, the trailer doesn't excite me for the movie. Maybe it's the trailer edit, but I'm still not interested, but I think I could give it a chance. We'll see. Yeah, to be honest, every time I watch this trailer, I don't know, I kind of feel a little empty. I feel like it just kind of feels a bit flat to me. Maybe the movie will actually be really good. Who knows? But the trailer, yeah, is a bit flat. I'll agree with that. I'm glad you guys are excited for my review. Yes, Cheetah Viper, we have to talk about the Rachel Zegler situation because since those comments about Snow White came out, Rachel Zegler has been a lightning rod of just controversial opinions, and she's been dogpiled online. She has essentially become the new Brie Larson. And I feel like that could definitely have an effect on the movie, potentially. Maybe. I think depending on how well this movie does, we'll kind of see if those comments actually affected her negatively or not. Because if this movie still does really well, then we know that the live-action Snow White might still have a chance at doing well. So I think depending on how this movie does will really tell us if there is any sort of backlash against Rachel Zegler in real life, or was this all just on the internet. Angel Barrera, thank you so much for the super chat. I love that you guys are being so generous and kind today. I mean, we haven't had dystopian fiction after COVID, right? I mean, the whole YA dystopian trend was so popular for so long. And then it died out with the Divergent movies and the Maze Runner films, and now it seems like they're trying to bring it back. Maybe. I don't know. I know Viola Davis is a wonderful actress. Okay, the monitor designer wants a poll. Why not? Let's do a poll. Since you guys like the poll. I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna copy your question, Modern Designer. Will Rachel Zegler's controversies affect this movie? Affect Hunger Games. I'm gonna say yes, movie will flop. No, it will be a hit. And then a third option for a little, movie is a modest hit. Yeah, those are the options, those three. Evil Connor says teens were so into the end of the world in the 2010s. Honestly, I have a theory that the reason that so many young people now are like all about revolution and protesting and going into the streets is because like we grew up on dystopian fiction where it was nothing but teens fighting against the system, taking over the world, protesting, fighting. Like that's literally like what we grew up with. So I think it's not unsurprising that like Gen Z seems to be very, very much about, the protesting, gotta fight the system life. Because like, look at what they had to like watch growing up. All right, going to the poll. 52% of you guys, so that's over half, thinks it'll affect Rachel Zegler's controversies will affect the movie a little bit, but the movie will still be a modest hit regardless. Okay. Then 29% of you think that yes, the movie will absolutely flop, and then 17% think no, it will be a hit. So it seems like only a small portion of you think this movie is going to be a major hit. But there's still over half of you, 55% now, that think there's still a chance this could be a hit, just maybe a modest one. I think that's probably my answer, to be honest. I still think because the Hunger Games brand is so strong, it still has a chance at doing well. But will it do as well as it would have before all those controversies happened? I don't think so. So I'm going to go with the third option as well. It will affect the movie, but only a little bit. All right, ending the poll. Yeah, Josh loves movies. I have to agree with you. I think it'll affect the Snow White movie more than Hunger Games, especially since she's playing like such an iconic role that has a very long history that comes before her, and the whole controversy is that she just apparently hates the original so much. So yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think even if the Hunger Games does do well, Snow White could still flop. Tegan and Hopperoni says people in power in real life that they can't connect with. What are you talking about? The modern designer says, I think Rachel's comments have affected her career. She's become poisoned. Well, we'll see how Hunger Games and Snow White does. If somehow both of those movies are hits, I think she'll be just fine. But if they both do really well, really poorly, then yeah, I think she could almost end up blacklisting herself just because you could directly trace like what happened with these films to her. So it could be very bad, but we'll see. Alright, anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys because they're still going forward with their movie, even though they won't be able to promote it because everyone's still on strike, or maybe they won't be on strike by then, who knows. We'll talk about the strike stuff in a second, but I think they still will be. But it seems like they're still going to try to promote this movie without their stars. They're still going to release it, so let's see how it does at the box office. I'll be here to report it when it does. Alright, moving on. Oh yeah, more pictures here. Sorry, I forgot about this page, but you can just see more pictures from the trailer. Now, remember yesterday when I brought up the fact that supposedly the Marvels has a budget of just $130 million, and I said there is no way in hell this movie only cost $130 million, and I didn't believe it? Well, I was right not to believe it, because that's not true at all. According to Forbes, Disney has actually confirmed that Marvels has a budget of $274 million, so a lot more than 130. But they got the UK government to pay $55 million of that, so they only paid about $219 million, so about $220. And according to Forbes, the film still has to gross at least $439.6 million at the box office just to break even. Now, this is less than what Quantumania made. So this movie could still make less than Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and still at least break even. So there's good news there. But on the other hand, how much further past this $439.6 million figure do you think this movie is going to get? Do you think this film is just going to break even? Do you think it's going to flop? Or do you think it's going to make money now that we have an exact break-even figure? Alia Blanca says, people are too enraged about her opinion on Snow White. It's like she ate a baby or something. What's with all the baby talk in this chat today? But yeah, people are very upset with her. Like I said, Rachel Zegler's become like the new Brie Larson. She really has. Okay, Natanya thinks this movie is definitely gonna flop. Okay. Okay, all of you are saying flop. Interesting. Yeah, the budget's ridiculous. The fact that even before the subsidy, this movie was gonna cost almost $300 million is ridiculous. These movies should not be costing almost $300 million. They should be costing $130 million, because then you don't need to make $440 million just to break even. This is the problem right here. Okay, Kana thinks this will just break even. Okay. Cal also thinks this will break even. Jordan says $274 million. We got a movie that looks like a behind-the-scenes clip with sets and costumes. Yeah, where does the money go? Like, you always see how these movies are so expensive, but other than like a few recently, like I could say Guardians, I can see where the money was spent with that film. But like some of these other things, like Secret Invasion apparently had a budget of $220 million. But Secret Invasion looked like they shot everything in a room in Burbank somewhere with like $5 and a dream, okay? So I don't understand where all of this is coming from. Like, where are they using this money? Okay. Yeah, why is the government involved? I think it's because the UK wants to encourage American productions to film there. But at the same time, it's like, if they're subsidizing all these movies, that's a lot of money. $55 million is a lot of money when, they could be spending that on their own film entertainment studio, but whatever. It's mostly hush money. What? They gotta be laundering that money for real. It goes to property taxes in LA. Maybe it does. LA is so expensive. Maybe it all just goes to like paying for just the building to be able to film there. I don't know. Grace likes to draw says that's why they wonder where the money went. Everyone's been wondering, like, what in the world? Okay, I'm gonna do a poll for this one. Now that we have an exact break-even figure, what do you think this movie will do? So, will the Marvels make money? Alright. So the first option will be, yes, it will definitely get past that barrier. And then no, it will flop, and then I'm going to add a third option for a break-even. Alright, adding the poll. The money is going for the ad products. Oof. Misbehave says Brie Larson's salary will be huge. 20 million plus bonus up to 70 million. Well, I'm glad she's getting her money from this, because I don't know if there's going to be a third Captain Marvel movie. Okay, Josh thinks it will just break even. If Josh, you're usually the most positive and optimistic of all of us here. If you think this movie can only just break even, there's no hope. There's no hope. Damn. That's actually, like, the fact that you, Josh, saying it will just break even just convinced me this movie will flop. Just because you're always so optimistic. Yeah, everyone does love the polls. I like the polls. Alright, going back to the poll, by the way. 47% says no. You guys think this will definitely flop. You guys don't even think this movie will make $40 million? That's awful. Okay, 42% of you think break even, and then 13%, only 13%. Only 13% says yes. Oof. Only 13% of you think this movie has a chance at getting close to what Quantumania made? Oh man, this movie might be dead on arrival. This is bad. This is even worse than I thought. Holy crap. Rachel says, to be frank, saying it will break even is being optimistic. I know! That's the sad part. Saying break even is optimistic. That just shows you this movie is like DOA. Alright. Oh no, Sammy Bear says Disney movies are now NFTs. What do you mean? Overrated and hard to understand? Jessica H. Oh, just deleted your message. Quack says the UK should put more money to their citizens. They are suggesting a 40-year loan because no one can afford their mortgages. Invest in studios in your own country. That's kind of what I feel like the UK should be doing too. Like, why? I mean, I get they want the US and other countries to film there, but like, Are you really getting that 55 million back? Are you? I don't know. I don't know if they should still keep doing that, to be honest. They should invest in their own movies, in their own country. Alright. Ending the poll now. Okay. Thank you everyone for participating in the poll. So, moving on. Well, actually, I'm heading on to the member comments because I asked you guys, what did you think about this? Do you guys think this movie will actually be a hit? Do you think it'll flop? And if it does flop, what do you think Marvel should do with the characters moving forward? So, thank you everyone for being a member. Natanya says the budget being $130 million was way too good to be true. Yeah, I don't think anyone who actually, like, seriously follows this stuff, like I do, ever believed that number. So, I'm not even shocked that it was higher. Nicholas Wilson, thank you so much for being a super chat. Thank you so much for being a member, says, again, audience fatigue may be what drags this movie down, and that's a shame because it has real potential. I think that Marvel needs to start promoting their movies now as, like, yeah, it's a Marvel movie, but here's the specific reason you should see it. Because before, they were just promoting their movies like, oh, it's the new Marvel movie, that's why you have to see it. Now, I think they need another pull. They need another selling factor other than that it's just a Marvel movie, because people are getting fatigued by it. And I just don't know if there is another selling factor for the Marvels other than it's a Marvel movie. Marilyn Cherry says, also, I have seen Captain Marvel and WandaVision. I did not connect with their characters, and I have not seen Miss Marvel. I don't mind strong women and would like more female-centric movies. Oh, okay, you don't mind strong women. I thought you said you don't like strong women. And would like more female-centric movies, but need relatable characters. Yes, relatability. That's the thing. I feel like Disney in particular, they're really bad about this. They love giving us the archetype of the strong female character, but then they forget to make them relatable and, you know, actually someone you want to like and root for. Usually when they do the whole strong female character thing, they make them super tough. They kind of ironically make them more masculine. They usually give them really bland personalities, and I think that's really dumb. If you want a female character that really connects, you gotta make them relatable. I fully agree with that. I still watch superhero content sometimes, but there is just too much to watch everything, and no one else is going to join me. I must be really interested in the movie to watch it in theaters on my own, and I don't think I am the only one feeling that way. This is the reason why it will flop with 400 to 500 million worldwide. Yeah, if it made only about 400 million, that would be a huge, huge flop. Even 500 would be a huge, huge flop. So, it seems like that's gonna become a reality soon enough. Thank you for your comment, though. Mimo Talir says, if people don't go see this movie, they should really pause and think about what they are doing. The gigantic budgets for mediocre material, the homework people have to do to know who the characters are, and the political agendas they are pushing. Forget about the Marvels and try beloved characters like the X-Men. I know Marvel's trying to get to the X-Men. I think they're taking too long to get to the X-Men. I think we probably won't see the X-Men until Deadpool 3, which, with the strikes going on, who knows when that's coming out. I think they waited too long to get to the X-Men, to be honest. Marilyn Cherry, also another comment, says, retired characters will let them only do guest appearances in other movies. I think if this movie flops like you all think it is going to flop, I think the only times we'll see these characters again is if they pop up in other people's movies or shows. I don't think we'll see them get their own films again, even Captain Marvel. Cheetah Viper says, I think it will flop. This movie has homework. You have to watch WandaVision and Miss Marvel to know who two characters are. As far as what to do forward, they need to make interesting stories that people want to see. Make interesting stories with relatable characters. That sounds so basic and simple, like, yeah, duh, but, like, they're not really doing that. So, it really is that simple. Make interesting stories with relatable characters. Amphibia Lover says the movie is doomed. Yeah. According to most of you, you guys really think this movie has no chance. But thank you everyone who is a member. Please, again, if you want to be a member, just press the join button at the bottom of the screen. It does support the channel. And thank you everyone who posted here. I just refreshed the page. The only new one here was the Amphibia Lover one. Yeah, you'll probably see them in King Dynasty or Secret Wars. Like, you'll definitely see them in the Avengers movies. I just don't know if they'll get, like, their own film or show again. Minecraft Builds With Me says, OMG, we need actual good written female strong female characters without making them annoying, narcissistic, or sexist. Yes, I'm so sick of this trope of, like, a strong female character needing to be, like, a narcissist who just thinks that they are the best at everything and that they're just waiting for everyone else to realize it too. That is such a common trope that I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of it. Quack says, I think they should drop Marvels and have more Guardians of the Galaxy, like the first and second one. The third one wasn't as good. What? I totally disagree, Quack. I thought the third one was the best. I thought, for me, I would rank the Guardians movies as 3, 1, and 2. I thought the second one was the worst one. Yeah, Mary Sues are very boring. And they do exist. And they're a horrible way to write female characters. Modern Designer, I missed your comment? Okay, sorry about that. But sadly for the diverse female cast, I do think this movie will flop. I watched the trailer and the Marvels looked like another knockoff Marvel Studios movie. Damn. Another knockoff movie. With the cheap visual effects and a weak story with no real stakes. Yeah, I guess that's why when I watch the trailer I just feel like a little flat. The quality has fallen way below the first few Marvel films like Iron Man, Captain America, and the Avengers. Yeah, I mean, I don't think really any, other than maybe Guardians 3, any real recent Marvel film I would say is anywhere close to being as good as the first Iron Man movie. The first Iron Man movie was so good, it was able to launch this entire cinematic universe. And I just don't think they're making movies of that quality anymore, at least not consistently. Sorry I missed your comment, I went back to it. The Blue Gecker Nerd says, a Mary Sue would be someone like Marionette, while I like Miraculous Ladybug. I don't think Marionette is a Mary Sue, people just be calling her that. She's an amazing character. I don't think every strong female character is a Mary Sue, but I definitely think there is a certain trope where it's like, particularly with any female character, it's like they don't want to give them real flaws because they can't be flawed, you know, and that just makes them not interesting or relatable. Michael says, I like feminine heroes. Wonder Woman and the Powerpuff Girls come to mind. Yes, the Wonder Woman movie was so good. The first one, not the second, but the first one was very, very good. And I think she was a very well-written, well-rounded female character. And guess what? She was still interested in love and romance. Who knew? You could still be a strong female character and be interested in romance. It's like Hollywood doesn't realize that, but the first Wonder Woman did. Misbehave says Will Smith Hancock made more money than Iron Man, and they're both released the same day in theaters. Is that true? I had no idea. I mean, Will Smith was a huge, huge star back in the day, so I'm not even surprised. Alright, now I am going on to strike news now, because both the writers and the studios are set to meet today, so I'm sure we'll have a lot to update tomorrow about what's going on, the strike. They're trying to renegotiate. In fact, this is the first time I would say the CEOs are actually being serious about this, because Bob Iger, David Zaslav, who, I guess not everyone knows these names, Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, David Zaslav, the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, Ted Sarandos, CEO of Netflix, and Donna Langley, they're all, Universal, are all reportedly presented. They're all going to be at the meeting between the WGA and the studios. So to have all the CEOs of all the major, or most of the major studios there, tells me that the studios are A, actually serious about trying to end the strikes for once, and B, maybe this is the first time I genuinely have had any sort of hope that these strikes are going to end before the end of the year. If all of these CEOs actually come to this meeting and they still can't come to a deal, then they're definitely not coming to a deal before the end of the year. I feel like this is the last chance for these studios to end this year, or that they're not ending until next year, for sure. Again, because of the holidays and everything, but because, again, I think if you're having the CEOs finally sit down and talk to the writers themselves, they're serious. And if they can't come to a deal, then I just think this is not going to end anytime soon. What do you guys think is going to happen? Okay, Jax is praying. Let's hope. This is the first time there's been a lot of false flags and a lot of false calls so far in the strike where people thought maybe it would end, but I never believed it. This is the first time where I feel like I have a tiny bit of hope, just because the CEOs themselves are actually coming to the table this time. Like, they're serious. Okay, Jordan Davis has been a member for a month now. Congrats. That's because they're struggling with the 3 key players. Oh, that's because they're struggling without their key players. Yeah, I think all of these studios are struggling. They're all losing money. It's looking bad for all of them at this point. All of the CEOs have been villainized over it. I'm sure that they want these strikes to end too, because if they don't, they're going to have to delay so many movies that were supposed to come out next year. And they don't want it to get worse. They don't want there's already going to be a gap in content next year. They don't want that gap to get even worse, because it's going to be bad for everyone involved. So I think we'll see what happens. I'm definitely going to tell you guys if they came to any deal or any conclusion at all. But I don't know. We'll see. It is a huge step forward, says Josh. I honestly didn't think the CEOs would come to the table until January, which is why I thought the strikes would be over until then. Minecraft Builds With Me says, I doubt they will come into a deal. That's both beneficial for the active strikers and the studios. The main thing that both the actors and the writers are fighting for, they're fighting for a lot of things, but one of the main things they're fighting for is success-based residuals. People want to get paid based on how well their show or movie does on streaming, just like how they used to get paid just on how well their show or movie did on cable or on broadcast TV. So unless these studios actually agree to success-based residuals, which means revealing the streaming numbers, I don't know. That's the main thing I think is going to keep this from, this actually coming to a deal, just because both parties are very, very passionate about the success-based residuals thing, and I just can't see the studios wanting to... They're not going to cave to that right away. I think that's going to be a heavy fight. But we'll see. I'd be surprised if they did. The Modern Designer says, I feel like this is PR and damage control for the studios. Yeah, it could be. Maybe they're just doing this to make the writers look bad. So, you're right. Maybe this is all just smoke and mirrors. Maybe the CEOs are doing this with no intention of actually giving the writers a good deal, just to make the writers look bad if they then turn down the deal. I could totally see that being a tactic. You're right. I hope that's not the tactic. That would be awful. But honestly, nothing would surprise me anymore. Raindrop says, hopefully they can come to a deal, but then what will happen to the actors? Well, as I've been saying, I think the writers and actors are pretty much in this together. If the writers come to a deal, the actors will be shortly after. And if they don't come to a deal, then the actors are not going to be coming to a deal either. I think they're pretty much in it together. As soon as one gets a deal, the other will get a deal, and the whole thing will be over. Alright. Josh Loves Movies says the writers and actors are working together to make a deal with the studios, who hopefully they will pay them what they deserve. Yes, I hope so. I really, really hope these strikes end. I genuinely do. This is the most hopeful I've been the entire time since the strikes have come up, so we'll see. I hope this isn't not a trap. I really hope this is not a trap. So yeah, that is actually the last thing I have today. I'm sorry, no WTF news. But for the next 10 minutes or so, I will give you guys an Ask Me Anything section, so you guys can ask me anything you want for the next 10 minutes or so. It could be about what we talked about today in the show, or just about anything beforehand. But yeah, thank you everyone for coming to my show. This was really fun. Again, if you're going to hop off now, I will be doing another show tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so I'll see you then. And now you guys can ask me questions. The Modern Designer says, I can't believe that Bob Iger would prefer people to be homeless. Yeah, I can believe it. Unfortunately, I can't believe it. Vilma says, let's say the strike ends. Do you think Dune Part 2 will be back in theaters? Oh, like if the strike ends tomorrow, would they bring Dune Part 2 back to November? I don't know. I think they've already moved it. I just can't see it happening, unfortunately. I just don't see it. Hybrid Venom says, do you think AI could die? No, I think AI is going to get much worse before it gets better. And by worse, I mean, it's going to get worse for people in the industry before people, I think, turn around on it. I still think AI is going to absolutely turn over and upend the entire entertainment industry. It's going to do that for every industry, but just talking about entertainment, I think it's still something that people need to be worried about. Oh, hi, Free Rocket Man. Laura B, no, I'm not a Lord of the Rings fan. Jessica H, I do love Futurama. I haven't seen the new episodes yet. I'm really slacking on that, but I gotta go back and watch Futurama. I know I want Dune 2 now. Me too. Mikey says, can you believe Elio and Wish budgets are $200 million like Elemental? Why is Elio $200 million? I don't understand. When they made the Super Mario Bros. Movie for $100 million. Okay, in fact, Illumination makes a lot of their movies for around $100 million. So it's possible to make a really good looking animated film for relatively cheap. So why are their movies so expensive? I just feel like Disney has a spending problem. They spend way too much on everything. Whimsin says, AI is limiting my future and I've got 2 years until I have to go to college. I'm so sorry, Whimsin. That's a rough position. You're not even in college yet. Yeah, if I were you, I would be thinking about what jobs can I do that an AI cannot replace. That's what I'd be thinking about right now if I still had 2 years until college. I hope you take that advice to heart. Jordan Davis says it's always the little mistakes with Disney. Is it even a little mistake? I feel like this is a pretty big one. Why isn't Disney advertising Wish? That's a good question, because it's supposed to come out in November, and you're right, all we've really seen from it is that one teaser. Why aren't they advertising Wish? Maybe they're waiting to advertise it closer to the movie? I don't know. I hope they don't move Wish. I want to see that movie. I'm really excited for it. DD, oh my gosh, thank you so much, DD, for the super chat. Good live stream, Brittney. You make media news so entertaining, and I can tell you're very passionate about all things media. Oh, thank you, DD. You're very kind. You guys are so sweet and kind to me. Genuinely, I love you guys. Thank you for the super chat. Grace Likes to Draw says, I am wanting to watch Fiona and Cake, but before I watch it, what episodes of Adventure Time do I need to watch before watching Fiona and Cake? I have to tell you, I've seen a couple of episodes of Adventure Time, but I've not seen, like, the whole show. I'm not a super fan. I know, people seem to think that, like, I'm the kind of person that would love Adventure Time, but I just haven't watched it yet. Oh, Mikey says Wish is getting an official trailer. It was also announced just this week. Oh, good! We will definitely be talking about the trailer then. In fact, I might even react to it. Oh, thank you, Blue Gecko Nerd. Hybrid Venom says, actually acting like a human being. That's what AI can never do. That's true. If I were, like, just trying to figure out what career to do, like, I would honestly try to think of what AI can't do, and then I would go after that. Because I think even just 5 years from now, I think things could be bad. I think AI could take a lot of people's jobs. I'm actually really worried about it. Even for myself. Mikey says, update, Wish is getting an official trailer soon. Yes, we just talked about that. I'm excited for the trailer. I hope we get to see more, especially from the villain. Raindrop says, do you think the Marvels and Aquaman 2 will be better or worse than The Flash? I don't know. Can you be worse than The Flash? I guess Aquaman 2 if people are walking out of the screening, although if it's just for that one disturbing scene, I don't want to see that. I don't know how many of you guys have seen the movie Mother, but there's also a disturbing scene with the baby, that's all I'll say. And even though I actually like that movie, that's like the one scene I have to close my eyes for, because I can't watch that. Juggernaut Gamer says, from a business perspective, Disney needs to reform from the top down. Yeah, they need to realize that throwing money on everything won't work. I think they probably already have. I wouldn't be surprised if by, like, next year we hear that a lot of these budgets are a lot smaller. Or the opposite could happen. I also could see, because something I found out about, I didn't know before COVID, was that when a movie has already been made or it's in the middle of production and it's just sitting on a shelf somewhere waiting to be released, it actually occurs interest. So your movie is still costing more money even though you haven't, like, even though you're not filming anything, because it's still building interest. That's why a lot of these movies, like, say, Mission Impossible, that's why their budgets end up being so crazy, is because having to stop filming and, like, pausing and all of that really drove up the budget. So, what I'm thinking is, we're having a similar situation here where a lot of movies had to stop filming because of the strikes, including Deadpool 3. So, I'm thinking the budgets on those movies might get pushed up again because they had to stop filming. And I'm really curious to see if, like, how is this going to affect everyone's budget once the strike is over. Alright, I'll take like 3 more questions and that'll be it. Oh, Mikey, did you see Zootopia Land in China? It looks cool. I did. I really want to go to the parks in China. Maybe one day. But I want to go to the ones in Europe and Japan first, so that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. Alright. Oh, bye, Dee Dee. What movies are being released in October? Well, you have Five Nights at Freddy's. You've got Haunted Mansion, I think, is releasing on Disney Plus, so if you wanted to see that. I'm seeing The Creator soon. That just comes out recently, but or soon. But I'm very excited for The Creator. I'll let you guys know what I think of it. One more question. Cal says, okay, Britt, you get to greenlight Disney's next movie. What would you produce? Oh, man. I would actually go out and find some auteur directors, ask them what kind of movies they want to make, and then give them a reasonable budget to go make it. That's what I would do. I would get some really big name talent, like get Greta Gerwig, get, hell, if you could even get Denis Villeneuve, somehow, get him. Get, like, big names, okay? Even get Taika again, even though I know I didn't like the last Thor movie. I still think Taika's a good director. Just make him, let them do something original. Let them do something original, give them modest budgets, and then actually market the crap out of it. That's what I would do. So we get something original, but also good. But yeah, and Kingdom Hearts. A Kingdom Hearts movie would be really good. Alright, anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for joining the show. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that'll be it.